Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Georgetown Tea House. My name is Anansi, and for the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to be having a conversation. Now, the question we're asking this evening is, what stage of a relationship, should you ask a guy about his finances? Should it be, after the first or second date? Should it be after the first or second week? What stage of a relationship should you ask a guy about his finances? Now, helping me this evening to tackle this question will be GT born and bred and a current manager of customer experience, Orlanda Stewart Wilkie. All right. So tell a friend, gather around. We are going to be having a ball this evening. All right. So sit back, let that question marinate in your minds. All right. At what stage of a relationship should you inquire, into the state of a guy's finances? All right. As you think, I'm going to give you a few moments to think. And as you do that, all right, I'll have some music for you, helping you to groove as you bring your points together. All right. And kicking us off today will be a cool, laid-back vibe from beat poet Pablo Jiti, and this is something called Black Hand Side. Please like, share the podcast.
Black Hand Side. R and Beat Poetry by Pablo. I'm in a 1975 on the black hand side kind of mood. A super fly swearing, platform shoes wearing kind of mood. I'm Foxy Brown and Cleopatra Jones. I'm Cotton Comes to Harlem and Shaft's Big Score. I'm Mongo Slade with the fro, Isaac Hayes on the go, spilling hot buttered soul from Philly to Phoenix. Can you dig it? I'm Donna Summer at the hall, waiting for my lover to call. Michael J. off the wall, black tux, white socks, and all. Can you feel it? I'm Don on the train, Jimmy on the circuit.
All right, let's head over to the Etc. studio where I had my chat with Orlanda. The question is, at what stage of a relationship should you ask about a guy's finances? All right, here we go. At what point does money become a factor for you?
So if we are living apart with no, if there are no commitments of us moving or living together, I don't think your finances is any interest, or it shouldn't be a concern of mine, because we haven't taken that step as yet to be more intimate or be, whereas we're saying, okay, we're going to take this next step of being together, right? The minute I think we meet to that line, I think discussions should be had.
What is that line for you? Is it, when that person may have slept over for the first time, when you started to have the conversation about living together? When is that line for you where, okay, I got to check this person's finances up?
For me, it comes in when we start being more personable, talking about moving in together, having a life together, business plans, talking about business. It becomes my concern then. You become my interest then. That's when it comes in for me. But if we're kind of living apart, I mean, we're just living apart, we're dating, sleeping over, that happens. If you're in a relationship with somebody, or wherever, at whichever point it is, you do sleep over, whatever. But when it gets personal, where we're now going to make or take that next step, that's where that definitely should come in, or that's where it would come in for me.
From your own experience, okay, Anansi approaches you, you don't know Anansi from Adam, right? He seems okay, you start chatting, right? When is your mind as a woman, how far does an initial conversation have to go, or what do you have to be feeling before you begin to think, okay, I wonder, does he have a good job? He seems a nice person, but does he have a good job? Is he earning? If I do reach the stage where I want to date him, at how far into a conversation do you find your mind would go to that?
I think that happens from the initial date. Like the first time you go out on a date, it's a human thing, right? That we would start thinking, you're sitting across the table from someone. I mean, thoughts about them are going to run through your head. Like, who is this person? Where do they work? What they do for a living? And that's why those are questions that are there to ask, right? Not asking questions, that is, it's a whole lot on somebody. You don't want to be wondering. I don't want to be wondering. I'm gonna ask. One thing about me, I'm very upfront, upright, and I'm gonna ask you, so what do you do for a living? You ask about kids, things that this person can actually tell you about themselves. I mean, you're not going to go hard pressed and into everything about them, right, on one date or the first date, because it's going to look kind of suspicious, or maybe like you're trying to see what I got to see if you can gold dig. Right? But I mean, those are questions you ask, because those are questions that are normally returned to a woman. What do you do for a living? Where do you work? So why not go ahead and ask that and get it out the way?
All right. Now, how do you ask that question in terms of really getting a gauge of what they earn? How would you put the question over to the individual?
So I think when it comes to finances, that is something that you don't ask right away. That comes maybe later on in conversation. This has got to be deep between you and this person. And like you said, we're planning on moving in together, or we're planning on opening a business together. These are things you got to ask. I mean, if we're going to move in together or let's use better. Let's say that we're planning on opening a business, right? We have to discuss finances then. How much are you making? What is your credit score like? Right? I know initially in some relationships, women already run stuff like that on men.
Right.
They run your credit. So they're waiting for you to lie so they can be but what had happened was, and sip their water before they say, I already ran you. Right? So,
all right, you're in the Georgetown Tea House, and you're joining a conversation where we asking the question, at what stage of a relationship should you inquire into a fella's finances? All right, and with me today is Orlanda Stewart Wilkie, a customer experience manager, all right, and GT, born and bred. Before we continue our conversation, we're gonna hit it up with a little groove. All right, here is Rainy Milo, and note all the music that you hear on another Georgetown Tea House, Guyanese.
See what am I supposed to say to hope that one day maybe you'll stay? Cause when my heart beats double time and I'm left hoping one day you'll be mine, or maybe today. Yeah, see, I'm cracked with conversating, and if you get too deep you'll be left waiting, hopeless like you missed the last train. But I promise there's so much more to gain. My heart's cold, it'll warm to you. My mind's on overtime, but it'll stop for you. Eyes are wandering, but they got stuck on you. Shit, there's something special about you. Yeah, there's something special about you. You see, I'm sure you've heard it all before, but it's all you and nothing more. You're so much more than just a new face, some kiddie shit. How about a game of kiss chase? Now listen, there's just two options, but I don't mind either. It's yes or yes, yes or yes, yes or yes. Cause when my heart beats double time and I'm left hoping one day, or maybe today. Yeah, see, shit, there's something special about you.
So now, when you do get to making your inquiries, when you do get around to asking a fellow about his finances, how do you probe? Here's Orlando again. I'm trying to, let's go back a little before that though, where it's the first date. And, you haven't really made your mind up one way or the other, but you're trying to get a sense of where this person is at. Right, so that's what I'm talking. How do you probe? How do you probe? How do you pitch the question? As to where you're working. What do you do? How invasive do you get?
So everybody know I'm not a drinker, but I think right then I ask for like a glass of wine because the sweeter, like we said, I get, the looser my lips get. So I'm gonna ask, period. I need that one because I will ask about where you work. I mean, I can do it, but I think I can get more evasive and probe more. If I got a little bit of something in my head, you know, I can ask more questions. I have my limits because I think too, for myself on a first date, I wouldn't want somebody asking me about my finances, being truthful, but asking me about where I work and what I do. That is stuff that I'm willing to share. I have no qualms about that. About the kids and stuff like that, who you live with, kind of thing. I definitely would ask that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I asked that because years ago, I was watching one of these TV court things, right? A woman had taken a guy to court. Now, she said when she met him, and she asked him where he worked, he said he worked at a law office, which was true, but he wasn't a lawyer. But she assumed when he said he works at a law office, right, that he is a lawyer. Right, so that was what I was asking. You know, how do you probe to without seeming, you know, ill-mannered or anything, to know? Okay, all right, he seems all right. So if I consider, then I know what I'm dealing with.
That's why you ask where you work, right? And then right after then you ask, what do you do? That's important, right? I mean, like you said, she assumed he was a liar. She didn't ask the right questions. Like, she asked the surface questions. She didn't go further than that and do some probing to know that, well, what do you do there? I'm a manager. Okay. Do you have a team? Like, I would ask these, you're a manager for what? Like, yeah, there's many managers. You can work for the company I work with, and you can be a manager, but as a manager in another department that might not matter too much, you know, so, you know, everybody won't be on the same pay scale. That's your answer right there. If you want to know how much they make, you got to know what they do.
All right. Now we know that somebody could be of means and be simple in their appearance or whatever. From your own lessons of life, as you say, you seated at a restaurant and your date is approaching the table for the very first time. What has life taught you with regard to looking at somebody's appearance and from their appearance and how they move in terms of assessing what they have or beginning to assess what they have just from looking at them and how they move?
Life lessons has taught me that you don't judge a book by its cover, right? I can say I had a recent encounter, and I have two. Like, I had a recent encounter when I left the country the other day when I went on vacation. I was introduced to a gentleman, and he was like the simplest thing ever. No, nothing, no, just simple, nice, real laid back, everything of the sort. Later on, like a couple of days after, whatever, I was actually told who he was and got to see where he lived and what belongs to him. Not shocked or a wow factor, right? That made you be there, but it's just felt that kind of proudness of that person because they're so humble, but he is extremely wealthy, but so laid back and quiet, and you wouldn't even know he's around. we'll carry on a simple conversation. Like me and my girlfriend, we went to a roadside rum shop. And you remember those. And he was in there.
Okay.
Just simple, just hang with anybody. And it says a lot. Another one I can use, I remember like after a while, going to work with suits and ties and skirts and heels, and weekends you want to just dress down. I'm that kind. I drag something on and and me and my daughter actually went out to one of these stores and I was actually looking at a backpack. I think it was a Michael Kors backpack or something. And one of the workers in there walk up to me, right? And was like, did you see the price on that? I promise you. And I looked and I said, yes, I did. And he was like, that's kind of expensive, isn't it? Right? So you're judging me from my appearance. To me, you don't think that I can buy it. Right? And I kind of smile and, of course, my daughter, she's like, what did he say to you? I said, it's okay. Let's go. Right? So people judge you all the time. They judge you. They don't know you. But I think sometimes from the way you look, they just assume that you ain't got it.
Good. All right. Orlando mentioned something about, credit score and, and some, ladies peeping a guy's credit score. Now, guys in the audience, I have a question for the ladies and a question for the gentlemen. Gentlemen, would it be okay, especially if it's a case where, you're cool with the young lady you're seeing, would it be okay for her to, quietly go and check out your credit score? And for the ladies, what is a good credit score? What kind of credit score should a guy have before he dates you? All right. While you think about that, we're gonna go and we're gonna go with a cover this time. And this is Prince Ali. This is Magnet and Steel, and this is something from back in the day.
Now I told you, so you ought to know. It takes some time for the feeling to grow. You're so close now, I can't let you go. And I can't let go. With you I'm not shy to show the way I feel. With you I might try my secrets to reveal. You are the magnet and I am the steel. I can hope that I hold you for long. You're a woman who's lost to your song. But the love that I feel is so strong. And I can't be wrong. With you I'm
All right. The question is, at what stage of a guy's relationship should you inquire about finances? All right, we get into the closing stages of our conversation with Orlanda Stewart Wilkie, who was kind enough to join us in trying to, get this question answered. So here we go. As you look back at life, as you look at around life right now, right this moment, which is more important regarding human survival, both yourself and humanity in general?
Mm-hmm.
Money or love, and why?
That is a kind of hard question. Very interesting, though, because there's so many thoughts going through my mind. So if I choose love, I know out of love, you can, if you do love and you love humanity and you love human beings, you will give. Right? You will give towards their survival. But then I'm the kind of person that is realistic, and we live in a realistic world where we know that that is not going to happen through everyone. That's why I think the world is in the state it's in today because of a lot of greed. I would have to choose money just to make sure that the world is fed. So in being realistic for me in my head, I would take the money just because it involves the world and other people, and I know what the world is going through right now. I would choose the money, even though I don't want to.
Okay. I mean, reality is reality, right?
Yeah.
So just before we go, Sparrow once sang that you can't make love without
on a
money.
hungry
You
belly.
can't make love on a hungry belly. Would you agree with Sparrow?
I agree. Do you know how much strength it takes to make love? And then you hungry too? I will be hangry. Nothing will go right. I mean, I can't even get to that point being hungry. I have to have an intake to produce an outtake. I can't. There's no way I cannot make love on a hungry belly. I gotta be fed. It just ain't gonna happen. Or you can wait till I'm done having breakfast or whatever, and I'll come back after 20 minutes of digestion.
All right, so we agree money is important, right? All right. All right, that was Orlando. Thank you so much, Orlando. Please do join us next Thursday again as we continue to go down the dust trail of love. This is all coming to you from the Georgetown Tea House. Now, to head out, we will go with the Guyanese from out of Canada. And this one, she really fretting. This is Melanie Fiona singing at Siren Hall. Somebody come get me.
Somebody come get me before I kill this man. Somebody come get me, 'cause I don't understand. He don't wanna love me. Said he got a woman down the street. He don't really love me. 'Cause if he did, he wouldn't do it. Somebody come get me before I kill this man. meet don't really love me. Lord of mercy, don't make me do it. Lord of mercy, Lord of mercy, he'll be begging please. Lord of mercy, begging on his knees. Pack up everything in here and throw out what he leaves. Pack up everything for you and take back my keys. Whoa. He said a bitch named Sandra. Oh, and that's what caused all this drama. Well, give me back my keys and leave. I don't need you no more. Was supposed to love me, now leave. Didn't I give you my all? Somebody come get me before I kill this man. Somebody come get me, come get this knife off me hand. He don't wanna love me. Said he got a woman down the street. He don't really love me. Cause if he did, he wouldn't do it. Say, Lord of mercy, what will I do? Lord of mercy, is he killing you? Lord of mercy, just wait and see. Lord of mercy, if you don't give me back my keys and leave, cause I don't need you no more. Give me back my keys, don't look at me. Go back to your home.
Well, that's it for now, folks. The conversation on the dust trail continues next week. Thank you so much, Orlanda, her friends, in the Kayana Lane in the comments section. Kayana, thank you so much for joining us. Minister Travis Hackett, thank you so much. Orlando, thank you for your help for helping to round up the folks. Aretha, thank you. I know you were a little late, but thank you. Zebulon, the counselor, all right? And please continue to spread the word about the Georgetown Tea House. There's always a conversation, a nice conversation happening at the Tea House. This is all for now. Thank you, folks.